Noon, good evening, fellow Guardians. So, I was kind of checking out other videos and everything. Um, Something I think that I myself even got away from is potentially if, you're a new player, you want to try out the free version of Destiny 2. Check it out, see if you like it, something like that. And it's been so long that obviously I probably haven't really thought about it much in forever, on and off playing again. So when you come here, you'll notice you're probably going to look like, if you're a new player, you might see this starting to fill up. So at the bottom of these, most of them anyway, should show you your rewards, right? There's going to be some that's probably not as big an issue, but let's say you're just a fresh player coming in, you're not sure what character you want to use, what to do, you know, um, kind of can be overwhelming. Like, I do have a lot of quests in here, so it's like I just know which ones I need to worry about, which ones not, something like that. Some of these I think I've already done on multiple tunes, but I mostly run the Titan and Warlock. I don't mess with the Hunter too much. So these bounty quests are required from vendors, right? So there's quite a bit of vendors. Some stuff in the post box. I should have done this first. So the two areas they should be early leveling friendly will be EDZ Cosmodrome. Those are going to be two simple areas, and the reason I say this is the ads will be lower level, but also your main vendor should be here, Devrim K, and then Cosmodrome. I'm going to kind of show you Shahan. Okay. They're going to have bounties that you can go to. So this is a fast travel. You go to this little bounty vendor, grab some bounties. If for whatever reason you're glimmer starved, you can usually catch a couple of random guardians kind of jumping around here. So you can go and get the loot, which, let me see real quick if I can almost get the full experience here. Um, there is. So 1600 is going to be the level used. Where is end game? No, that one. I feel like it's the broken set you start with. That's a full set. I'm trying to remember. I think it's been changed, but I know you had the broken set when you started. Okay, any weapons now? I feel like I remember the Kostkov. How can I forget the Kostkov? Alright, so because I'm kind of strapped for space, I mean, I'm just going to use this gun only. This might give me a little buff, 1666, which is fine. Okay, so whenever you start up fresh, I feel like towers should be unlocked for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. These blue icons will show powerful gear, tier 1, which is usually like 1 to 2 levels higher than your overall rating. But at this point, if you know you're going, I'm going to go to the tower here. If you're going in with fresh gear, like you just have no mats, close to no glimmer, completely fresh start. I want to say it was Risk Runner, maybe, that you get early on, if I remember correctly. But like I said, I'm just going to use this weapon. He's going to have the busted gear, actually. Pretty sure I've already unlocked it, though. Just for transparency. Oh, I can't change the freaking... That sucks. That would have been fun to run. Okay, so... Another tower. Oh, I got to my Kostkov.
Guardian.
So, Banshee's going to have simple bounties for the most part because it's specific weapons, essentially.
Good.
So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill up on Banshee bounties. I'll get rid of those. So as you break these down, obviously if they're better, I would use them. But I'm going to go as if they're not counting. Stuff up real quick. Bear with me, guys. I'm working on it. Something completely different I haven't done in a while, so...
Checking.
I don't need it. Okay. So I have my Koskov. Let's pretend I don't have any glimmer. But just for the sake of simplifying, I went ahead and grabbed these bounties from Banshee. So what it's going to do is show so many out of 8, right? You need to get 8 bounties to get that extra gear from him, which you'll have to collect specifically from him.
I won't forget everyone we lost. I won't.
I'll get rid of some of these for now. There are timers on them, so try not to get too wild on stuff. I'll go ahead and knock that off. Okay, so I still have one here. It's a pulse rifle.
Stocks always change.
Shotgun, rocket launcher, sidearm, bow. So in a single life, which means if you die, it refreshes, restarts, right? Against any target. So this isn't really like precision. This is just getting kills. So auto rifle, which I have that. Bow, sidearm, rocket launcher. You know, if you don't have these, I'm going to show you essentially how to get them. I'm assuming at this point this is all the gear that you would have as a fresh player.
Place. Worth fighting for.
I'm also assuming that the power level is going to be 1600 to start. Which I feel like they do the skip pass, which if some of you guys don't want to spend money, you just want to do completely free game. This should be available.
Report.
So go to Shahan. So you're going to have weekly and daily. So you see the timer at the bottom, 7 days or hours.
Sounds good.
I'll go ahead and grab these.
Affirmative.
Okay, so
Stay loose. Never know when things will heat up.
basically these bounties are going to be worth XP. I believe they're about 10,000. You go to your
Let me know
season
if you find
pass,
any good
free
salvage
or
from it.
paid. You can still use the free one. It is all the way up to level 100, which is about 100,000 per level. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. You get all the rewards. And as you go up, this is the one you want to pay attention to. So now there's all these XP boosts, right? So what happens is, when you go to your artifact, this is like nonstop. It just adds up. So like, I'm at 300k out of 1.7 million for the next power level bonus. So the XP continues to increase, but that also is going to help this out substantially. Okay, so your hard cap right now is 1810 for season 23, which is like 2 months left till the next season. All right, just see out all the common stuff on 1650. This is going to be the hard cap 1810 plus whatever artifact bonus. That's every season. That hasn't changed in a while. Okay, so all I have is my cost cough. I got some bounties, right? So I know I have XP on an auto rifle. So that's definitely going to be the first one I hit. And I'm still pretending like I don't have the other shit I got in there. Right, so now there's melee. You can do that. Trolls. Hit your little ghost. Oh, there's a patrol here.
Hostiles detected in your region, Guardian.
So,
locate and dispatch.
Precision final blows. Precision's basically a headshot, or depending on certain ads like Vex, you shoot the little glowing belly. Alright, so I'm ready to go with my cost gun. And let's say you have absolutely zero glimmer. As you kill stuff, you will get glimmer. When you see that dot pop up, that's going to be a proc for finisher, which if you're on console, it's R3. And a little bit of a idea of the different builds. So they're all going to have different supers, abilities, stuff like that. That's a given, right? You have different subclasses. Void, Solar, and Arc are going to be your original three. Then came Stasis, then came Strand. Now, if you're doing the free one, I'm assuming it's just going to be these three, which is fine. My favorite Warlock's probably Void, and Titan is Solar and Void. So I really don't tinker with a lot of the new builds anymore on these subclasses. Don't feel like you're missing out. Okay? But Warlock is going to be pretty unique, I guess. It's got different variations, more passive play style. So, like, basically, if you don't like being up in the action a lot, then Warlock's not bad because he can still be a melee style build. But at the same time, if you like being up in the action, melee, and tanky, Titan's the way to go. If you like being stealthy and mobile, the Hunter's the way to go. He's got invisibility, and his mobility is his main stat, which obviously he gets a buff from other underground. And then you can branch out a little bit from the builds to different playstyle, but you'll have, what I'm talking about is mobility is the Hunter, resilience is the Titan, and I believe recovery is the Warlock. So as you're playing through, you'll get stuff to drop. So it should be gray, common, then green, uncommon, and then blue, rare. So as you get better gear to drop, obviously you want to pick it up. And most likely equip it. It's probably not going to drop a lot of blue for me right now, which is fine. And this is just the moment side of stuff, so like, you know, it could be a little bit like, what the heck, where do I go? There's so much to do, I'm so lost. You know, don't hesitate to pull out the old mobile phone. If not, you know, use the internet on your console. You can kind of see like a timeline event. Something like that. So like, Europa came before the Witch Queen, then after Witch Queen came Neptune. So, once you kill them, you'll see, you know, you're going to be getting your glimmer up. And then once your glimmer's up, go ahead and grab bounties as you can. But that's the best way to level anyways, the bounties. So it even procs. So like, you go here into your quests, knock off whatever bounties you get done, which they can sit here, but if you obviously focus on them, then they'll get done a little bit more priority. And then once it's like you clear all your bounties for, like, let's say Banshee or, you know, your Shahan bounties, you can either re-up or, you know, expand. He's on top. So whatever. Oh. So precision, I still gotta finish that for the patrol. Which the weekly bounty, I mean, obviously you got 7 days to do it. You can do it for, you know, in a brief amount of time. Got my Nova Bomb. So this isn't too super bad. I mean, a little bit higher, but you should get gear to drop from these turds if you're a fresh player. Which you could be doing the story campaign as well. But what they did add recently, so it used to be the Destiny 2 app for your mobile. And you could kind of do, you know, search and fire teams, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I guess stopped playing for a year or so, maybe a little bit longer. But if you go in here, and you go to this tab here, right? Friends, what have you, there's a fire team finder. So let's say I don't know what I'm creating, right? Maybe I don't want to mess with it. You go to search. Campaign stuff, I mean, you got Vanguard. So, as a brand new player, I would stay away from raids and dungeons until you kind of get a little more comfortable, maybe a decent loadout. Or you have some friends that could help you out, because even if you go in here, there's going to be like older dungeons that are kind of like not as big a deal, but I do notice there's a lot of people when you do, say, Warlord's Road, right? We'll go, this is your power level, by the way, these numbers. So basically, you know, as a fresh player, it's about 1600. I'm going to go ahead and say that's going to be the number, but you go here, right? You confirm to search. There's no listings available. Okay. So then go to a different one. Goes to the deep, which definitely don't want to do personally. So like, they'll kind of put stuff here. Final checkpoint's the third boss, you know, but they'll say new players welcome, fresh players, stuff like that. Are you sure that you would like to leave? Yes. But they're gonna be like the end game content. Raids especially are super hard. It's PvE, but you know, if you're coming in new and you really don't understand mechanics yet, this like even for experienced players, these can be like mind numbing essentially. So I would stick to Vanguard. Regular Vanguard playlist, don't do Nightfall. But even if you go in there, right? Looking for group. So see, there's 1766. He's a little bit more moderate level. You know. There's going to be a lot of experienced players coming through them. So they probably already know what they're doing, how to do it. You know, you won't have to worry about it as much. You can get loot off it. Which I'm not even sure what others. Free roam, nightmare hunts, social offenses. See, this stuff right here is pretty decent. But, you know, it does suck if you come in fresh and you're like, it looks like a game I might like. These are just campaigns. Whatever, and then there's somebody that's crying, whining, bitching in the chat or whatever, which does happen. I get it. It kind of takes the fun away from it. With the free version, I'm not 100% sure what all might be available. I know that you should have access to your... this is a public event, by the way. It's on the top left of the screen. So on the quests, it's going to say, you know, different public events. Somewhere, weeklies down here. But you have a whole week to do 3. I mean, you don't have to do it quick. But the faster you get it done, the more XP you get. And you see they'll just start popping up as you complete them, and then let's go ahead. So at this time, you're farming. The public event should give you decent loot. As you get some of these weapons, just go ahead and use them. I know I'm a little ahead of probably like early game level, even though I nerfed it as much as I could for now. 1666. And because there's quite a bit, what I would do is Void on all characters is probably not the worst subclass to use, because they all have different perks. So as you unlock some of this stuff, you know, don't be afraid to tinker and see if you like something. You know, test it out. I love the Cataclysm Slower Bomb. I would go with Healing Rift on the Warlock. Jumps aren't super big issue, difference between which one you might use. Then you got Blink, which I can show exactly what that is. So basically what you're doing is you're teleporting, but you disappear and reappear. So it's basically more probably, I mean, it might help survivability in PvE, but it's more like a PvP style jump.
Touchdown expected within the next minute.
So, you know, test them out, and then you got your different melees, which, you know, Pocket Singularity is obviously the only one that's got. And then, So the different subclasses will change, though. You'll have options, alternatives. And then Vortex Grenade if you have it. If not, these other grenades aren't, you know, worse or anything. But like Axiom Bolt, I like this one, personally. So some of this early game is going to be a little bit, like, no fun, you know, maybe redundant. But I've literally only been using the Cosmonaut for my abilities. And it doesn't seem too difficult, but a lot of times you run into these public events, there's going to be people farming bounties and stuff, like, you know, if you're not sure what's going on, kind of just take your time and see what's happening. I mean, even if I said, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing, let me go somewhere away. Look for the icon procs, those little blue diamonds, and you'll kind of see, like, the priority. It's like, this guy, I think he knows what's going on. So, there will be specific things you need to accomplish, but doing so is going to help teach different mechanics throughout the game. Whether you have to hold a spot, you see it's Transmat and Warsaw with a number down there. And there's going to be, where's the ring? There's no ring on this one, but basically you have to stand within this area right next to this giant Warsaw, see it goes away. Kind of like hold your ground, basically. If you don't kill these sorcerers, wizards, it'll give this blight, so it forces you to get out. But good old Titan fashion, like I say, when in doubt, kill everything. And then see, you'll see other randoms, so now we got come over. So just because this is like easier content doesn't mean experienced players won't come over here and do it. Oh, big guy's coming. I'm sure some of these players will be ecstatic to help out the newbie, you know, like the new guy coming in, like, with their little bit of built-up builds. So you're healing, you have to, like, not take damage for a certain amount. I think it's 10 seconds is the max non-damage to start recovery before it actually procs, that is. You can make it faster depending on your different builds. Obviously the Warlock has his Griff that will heal him. Oh shit. This guy wants me. Okay, got it done. Then you'll hear this wonderful noise. Got your little chest. And that's going to give you, I just got 13,000. So that should be enough for bounties, like if you haven't gotten bounties from the vendors. But But also you should be pulling loot, which some areas might be more rich than others for loot. But once you're here, you should have fast travels in different areas, so don't be afraid to check out. Because these bounties are the entire planet itself. Like these blue Banshee bounties from the tower, you can get anywhere, right? Visit the Lectern deviation. So if you're not sure, sometimes, like, what the hell is that? There's so much. Track it, go to destinations, and it'll tell you it's over here. Kind of narrow it down for you, at least. But once you keep getting more weapons, you can go ahead and equip them. So let's go to collections. I'll show you the loot tier. Maybe leveling. Here we go. So it should be, it's going to be the grayish background, which are common. And you have uncommon green, and you're going to have blue is rare. Now, as you keep going up, you're going to see that eventually you'll get to purple, which is the best overall. Like, that's legendary. Actually says it on it. Okay. When you get these pieces, you're going to be getting mats. What you want to get is these cores. These are going to be the most important, I would say, for like early leveling. Then prisms, obviously, these are good. And these in Ascendant shards, right? Which you do get from your season pass. It should be in here somewhere. So you will be getting these as well as throughout the game. Now what happens is, alright, I'm going to go back to my builds. I might keep Koskov on because it is fun. So basically wash, rinse, repeat, like get rid of the old stuff. You'll see it's going to give you mats as you dismantle it. Alright, so I'm going to keep Koskov on just for kicks. Okay, so let's say you got your bounties done, right, and your quests. You got some done, you're good to go, right? What you want to do is go back to the tower, which, let's see, is here. Now, bounties, no matter what level you are, no matter how experienced, is the fastest way to get XP. Hands down. Regardless of sweaty endgame content, stuff like that. If you literally just go do bounties, your XP will be slingshotting through, like, way faster. Alright, so you come to the tower. These events like this is like every couple weeks or so, like 2 or 3 weeks. So it does come and go, like it won't be there permanently.
So who won?
Go to Banshee, right? And as you level up, you'll see you'll get like the upgrade modules, cores. You get Ascendant Shard. You can repeat these bounties. Once you do these, they're one and done. But you can repeat these up to 5 per run. You even have some weapons here, so like legendary shards are from breaking down legendary gear, right? Glimmer is going to be there, like everything drops Glimmer pretty much. And you need enhancement cores to get upgrade modules, pretty much. And legendary shards, right? The reason that's important is, so when you look at the common, you can't do anything, like there's nothing here, right? It costs off, which should be your starting gun. right? So, let's see here. Don't have...
Earth's a good place. Worth fighting for.
Okay, so I do have some armor, so I'm going to show you essentially... Like, all these gold borders, right? See all these gold borders around my stuff? That's called masterwork, right? Whether it be a weapon or
Stock's always
armor.
changing. Don't
And
take
your
too
ghost
long.
even, right? Has it. So, all those are upgraded.
Show 'em that they
I'll do a
can't
pair
mess
of
with
those.
us.
So I'm going to grab these. What you want to look for on pieces, like, for best, you know, like, call it God roll, whatever you want to call it, right? You have a total number at the bottom. That says 67. Some of these gold ones say 88, right? This one, so when they drop, they're just going to be regular, not going to have the gold border. Base is what's going to be important to pay attention to. Because you don't want to just upgrade the first thing you get because it's the first thing you get, right? So if you get something decent like this, this is a base 67. So now, I'll go ahead. It's high resilience
Stay here on Earth if you can.
is
Less
23.
complicated.
Recoveries 2 could be better. I mean, it is what it is.
Every little
Go
bit
here,
helps.
right?
Trust me.
And it says apply. So you need those mats to upgrade it. I'm gonna waste my gear on this. My mats here, prisms. So then one ascendant shard, boom. Masterwork, right? Turns all fancy gold border. You're gonna have stats here
I can work with
you could
this.
put on, right? So now that I've masterworked it, it was a 67, now it's a 79. So you're gonna get plus 12 to all your stats. So it's basically going to be 2 per tier. So mobility, resilience, recovery, discipline, intellect, strength, they all got plus 2 across the
Just here,
board.
Guardian.
And then when you go into it, you get to pick. There's 10 slots here, 10 bars.
We
So
all
you get to basically
appreciate it.
pick your stats. So if you need better resilience, you know, your discipline, they cost so much. So let's say, you know, my resilience is low, bam. That's great, but you already eaten up 4 and you still got 3 boxes. So if you do something like
Earth's a good place.
this, recuperation, intervention, insulation, you know, just whatever. Now you have 3 free, so it's like, well, wait a minute, what do I not need as much? You know, you can kind of pick and choose which mod you want to use. So they're all going to have different benefits. You know, obviously there's going to be better, like, PvP mods. There's going to be better PvE mods. It really comes down to, once you dial in what you're messing with. Let me actually take those off so I know I'm not needing these or anything. So let's say you're like me. You like running Void Warlock. You know, you got your Cataclysm, Nova Bomb, Rift, Vortex Grenade. Similar to this, you know, you're doing a similar, close to it build. This is kind of some of the stuff I'm running here. So, heavy ammo is good because, especially from the purples, they're legendaries, you're going to see yellows. These are exotics, but you can only use 1 exotic armor piece
Let's talk.
and 1 exotic weapon. And because my heavy is an exotic weapon, you know, I want to make sure I got heavy ammo finder, but I also have heavy ammo scout, which basically helps the allies fire team get heavy ammo, which means it gets easier to do the runs for everybody, right? I want siphon. I'm just kind of gonna like scan through. So, you know, once you get to that point, which it will come, because even if you don't get these
I can help you.
all the way up to Masterwork 10 real fast, You can still upgrade them as high as you can, like get 4 or 5 and put what stats on you can get, or mods, right? So, let's say you're getting decent power level, you know, maybe you're in the 1700s. Let's say 1750 or something, just or 1700 even. You know, you go. What is that? Go with that.
Really? Okay.
This playlist, right? Gambit, Vanguard, Crucible. These top 3 are going to be your primary playlists. If you like PvE stuff, Vanguard's the way to go. If you like PvP, this one's kind of an in-between. It's PvE and PvP. You're not fighting a lot of Guardians. If anything, you're only getting one Guardian invading every so often. So, like, probably, I'd say 80% PvE, 20% PvP. This is 100% PvP. Okay? All of those are going to be located in the tower. So you have Banshee, that's Crucible, that's your strikes, Vanguard strikes, and then he's going to be the Gambit. So
Not gonna be a problem.
when you're running these, you can focus on one at a time. You don't have to do all of them. If you try it out, you don't like it, don't do it. You know, it's not a mandatory requisite for the game. And then basically, if you join a clan, you do get extra clan rewards, which is Hawthorne, Ekor Ray, Warlock, Vanguard.
Let's see.
So, go here to Vanguard. This one, these have these shiny yellow orbs, right? This is your Pinnacle gear. Pinnacle is going to be the highest power level jump, whereas your powerful gear, tier 1 and 2, is only going to be a little bit lower power level jump. But what I would recommend is once you get to have extra, maybe no. Once you get to a certain piece, like, you know, I said look for the base stat, right? High 60s is good. Best case scenario, you'll get a 7, you know, you'll see 70 base, but even a 65. This isn't the worst thing to not have like 67, 68, you know, high 60s, but it's the stats,
That's impossible.
which you'll see. They're a little clearer here if it's easier for you to read it this way, but you know, it's kind of a balanced, whereas some of these will have high resilience, high recovery resilience, which is going to be ultimately these numbers buffed. Now, when you're picking through your subclass fragments, you'll see these nerfs and buffs per stat, right? So sometimes these afflictions are more viable, depending on the build, but the red means you're getting it deducted, whereas the green means it's going to be added to your buffs. So essentially, it's going to probably stink for a little bit, but once you kind of get together, as long as you get a decent piece, these are all going to be universal, so these don't really matter. You literally can get any legendary mark,
Take a break.
or no, sorry, bond for the Warlock. But if you get a decent roll here, like a 65, I would masterwork it just to get your, like, mods on. Alright? And actually, now that I think about it, you might not have mods at this. There we go. Equipment. So these are probably going to have some grays. Where is... You should be able to get mods from Banshee.
Let's get started.
I want to say they'll be in here somewhere where you can purchase them.
Stay sharp. What do you need?
Is that the focus decoding? I'm not going to be able to see it. Okay.
Keep it
And
loaded.
then, if not him, because the mods should drop randomly in different events and stuff, but then the loom, you know, you can mark it in case you get lost.
Light go with you, Gordon.
And again, this is the completely, like, if you do the free version, you don't have a lot of content to do, they will match you up in events that you have unlocked. Boom. Okay, so Ada right here.
Welcome back.
We'll have mods as well. And I believe they change daily. Around 11 a.m., 12 p.m. EST. So whatever, you know, time change that would be for your area. You can also purchase gear from her. So if you need some kind of like decent pieces, if you're not getting it from open world, grab that. She also sells up there. So
You're nowhere to find me.
you can also break down higher mods to get lower level mods. So like if you need prisms,
As long as I have anything to say about it.
let me see if this gives me something here. Nope, just discarded that. So that changed. Okay, so I stand corrected. Let me see. I got an idea. So you have your vault that you can put stuff in, right? Okay, I don't snipe a lot anyway. So any excess weapons, I would probably get a couple pages before you start kind of getting through your weapons and gear. And you know, fill this up a good amount. I'd say probably get to 1 to 200. Even if it's just kind of trash gear in between, so you can kind of stock up on backup mods, which I don't like any of these. Something like that. So like you'll start getting your gear. It used to be if you broke down the higher tier stuff, you would get your mods. So they probably have changed it, which is fine. So whatever you do, do not break it down into discard. Because it's just a shard. It's not a big deal. Your upgrade modules. So let me show you. Let's see.
You don't look too banged up.
Yeah, these are 1600. I don't use hand cannons, so I'm gonna grab one of these.
I can work with this.
They're both 1600. Okay, so how do I do it this way then? Swashbuckler, slice. Let me use this one. Hold on. So then you can basically upgrade a weapon with a higher weapon, right? God bless it. I got too much shit. I don't use that a whole lot. I'm actually just gonna slap some of those back in there.
What an interesting little planet.
I don't need these swords. That's 1800. And that's not. Okay. So, I'm going to show you real quick. You can take this weapon that is 1772. This one's 1800, right? So make sure it's a weapon you don't like or need. Dismantle for infusion, bam. That costs upgrade modules, right? So that's where some of the mats come. Now the weapon you do like is 1800. Or will potentially use. And that's for your gear and your weapons. I'm going to keep that on
Those
just because.
algorithmic encryption keys were supposed to be heat resistant.
So I do need to farm that at some point, but for now. Rocket, sidearm, bow, sword, shotgun. So I have a sidearm, a bow, of course they're exotic. Rockets, sword. There's this sword. Let me start with 4. So you kind of want your loadout to coincide with, you know, what you're going to be doing here. And then public event plus precision. And this is just different afflictions. Arc, solar, void. I don't even think I have too much more. I do have an arc rifle. Okay. So now you got your bounties. Kind of got an idea how to upgrade your gear a little bit. I go back to Cosmodrome. And you can keep re-upping on these bounties that are, you know, repeatable. But different planets will offer different, you know, options, essentially, as far as they go. So whatever's available, Banshee is literally everywhere you can go. So Banshee is universal. I need 2 more and I get the powerful tier 1 gear. But every planet is going to, in fact, have vendors. They don't all have bounties. So if there's not bounties, you know, don't even worry about it. Just go to the next one. But your different ammo types, so like you're going to have green for special. You're going to have purple for heavy. And then if it's primary, it's basically infinite. They don't have primary ammo bricks anymore. I think I still have patrols. So different sections will have different like patrols, but you go ahead and start one while you're farming these bounties.
Firearms to high bioenergetics. Requesting a Guardian responder.
So you see sidearm calibration, boom, popped up. So I know it's complete. Go to the next weapon. Chest glitch. It happens sometimes, it's not a big deal if that does. So let's say you get the free content, you know, you got a XP still, maybe you still have blues, greens, you know, you don't have the best armor setup. Weapon combos right now. As you're going through, you know, obviously keep grabbing the better gear, but you should have weapons dropping. Public events, patrols, killing events. You know, you're not going to get the most amazing gear right out the gate. Alright, sword calibration. It's complete. And you can use any, like, color weapon. I mean, it could be the commons, the rares, whichever you can get your hands on. So as soon as the patrol's done, you're gonna hit your little ghost menu, tap it. There's more patrols through here. So basically, you're doing like 2-for-1s.
The Cosmodrome is one of several steady sources of new guardians. We tried to keep it clear of hostiles as often as possible.
Weekly bounties will give you the most XP, but of course, there's only a weekly bounty you can do weekly. Like a set, you know, for each vendor on each planet you have access to. So it really doesn't matter, like, which combo you do. There generally can be extra people just running around over here. So it might get a little bit more difficult. But you see the XP at the bottom of the screen jumping. It's solar. So I need art and solar. So if you're still in this area and you don't have a bounty for patrols, that's not to say you can't just go grab more patrols.
Guardian, we need you to hunt down local invaders and relieve them of their equipment. The city's hurting for raw material.
And if for some reason this area does get dried up because there's too many people killing too much stuff, you can use it to your advantage or something like that. You know, you don't have to actually stick around. Pretty sure I get to. It's been so long since I've gone this way. Should be right here. There we go. Get some extra kills along the way. There's not going to be a lot of other players running through here. So a lot of these enemies have different procs, like, you know, they'll put shields up or heal, make ads invincible, something like that. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Probably easier to go the other way, actually. These basically just give you rocket launchers, but those bad boys right there. You don't have to get them. CC, you get a lot more for the weekly stunning card. But essentially, the faster you get the bounties done, the more XP you're gonna get. That should be all she wrote. So guys, bounties, bounties, bounties equals XP. And the more XP you get, the more artifact bonus. Ultimately, it'll give you more power levels. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, hope you liked the video, hope it helps you when you get back to grinding. Thanks for watching.